With the 11th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select buzelis from Chicago and the NBA's G League team Ignite.
Yes, you read that correct. Buzelis will be the best player to come out of this draft. And I know it's early, and I know Stephon Castle just won it, the Rookie of the Year, just not even 24 hours ago, but I don't give a fuck. He will be the best player to come out of this draft. And I don't think people are talking about him and his skill set enough. And he hasn't gotten the recognition nor the credit that he really should be getting, and the trajectory that I could possibly see out of this rookie. And it's crazy to me that nobody's talking about it. I think we can all agree that this year's draft class was not the greatest, just in terms of talent and maybe star power. It hasn't been the greatest, not like in previous years, especially not like last year when we had guys like Wembanyama, Brandon Miller, the Thompson twins, other guys that we knew were going to have kind of an impact right away, especially, obviously Wembanyama, and we knew these guys were going to have impact on their team right away. And, I don't think it's fair because these guys are still rookies in this draft class. I'm not going to judge them too prolifically just because this is their first year. Like, nigga, give them fucking time. So I'm not going to do that. However, Matas is by far, I feel, the best talent in this draft so far, and definitely the best talent within the top 10. I understand you have guys like Risashe, like Alex Sarr, like Stephon Castle, still, good talents, but I'm taking Matas Buzelis in the long run of who is going to be the best in this draft class. And I feel like it's not particularly going to be close. Now, nigga, can I look back on this video in years on years and years and he doesn't pan out the way I see him panning out and I look like a dumbass? Sure. But I don't think that's going to happen. Matas is the embodiment of the direction the NBA is going towards. 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" guys that can handle the rock and do things that a guard can do just at a taller position. Somebody like a Jason Tatum, like a Kevin Durant, like a LeBron that has all the package and things you want out of a guard to do just in somebody that's much taller. And we've seen this trend probably the last, more than a few years, especially probably in this last decade, honestly, especially with guys like a KD and LeBron that kind of paved the way for these bigger guards to come into the league and do these type of things. So Matas is definitely somebody we should be looking out for. Now, Matas was picked 11th from the Chicago Bulls coming out of G League Ignite, where he averaged 14 points on near 45% shooting and 27% shooting from three on 32 minutes played in 26 games, which is very good for a pretty much high schooler coming into a league full of, older individuals, older men, and, putting these numbers up, which is very impressive. And we've seen guys like a Jalen Green, like a Jonathan Kuminga go down this route to the G League and be drafted high. And, I think, especially with G League players that go through the route of Ignite or whatever it may be, they tend to pan out less complete than somebody who has gone down the route of college or maybe even overseas. Just because maybe it's the personnel that is going through the G League route that plays like this, or I'm not sure what it is, but I've noticed this trend, with guys like Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga that have a very incomplete game so far. And they're still young and they still have time to mature their game, but it seems it takes them a little bit longer, or it's taking them a little bit longer to realize that. And maybe we'll have the same, issues with Matas, but then again, we don't know. We'll see. But he has shown a lot of promise in what he could do and what he is displaying. I think it's remarkable. Now, in Matas's rookie season, he averaged just over 8 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist, shooting splits of 46, 36, 81. And these numbers aren't something to really harp off or, harp on, and, judge somebody on, especially a rookie. These are typical expected rookie numbers, and there's only going to hopefully be improvement from here on out. But what I will, display is his last 48 to 80 games, where he really displayed his offensive capabilities and was given more of a stable minutes role, getting around 27 minutes per game, and really able to get more confidence and display more of his offensive capabilities, where he averaged just over 13 points per game, near 50% shooting from the field, and 36% from the three. And these are great numbers, and I think display just with time what he could do on a much bigger and broader scale. I also want to highlight is he could jump out the gym. This boy could jump. So he's also giving you a block per game, which, he can be a very good defender just with his leaping ability and his athleticism. He could also be a very great two-way player like a Jason Tatum, like a LeBron, being able to play both sides of the floor. So I think there's lots and lots of upsides with Matas and his, trajectory and what we could see out of him. And also too, I'm just a sucker for the bag. Like, just look at this nigga, like, highlights, bruh. Like, look at this nigga. Look at the way he's dribbling. Look at the way he's going. I'm just a sucker for the bag. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But, being serious, he really does have lots of upside, and I think he has lots of potential, man. And I think he will be the undoubtable best player to come out of this draft, just in due time. Let me know what y'all think, man. If y'all think I'm being too overzealous, if you guys think I'm right, if you guys think there's somebody else, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to hear what y'all got to say. I appreciate y'all for watching.